Hello and welcome to Buddhistdoor Global's weekly news review. I'm Dr. Justin Whitaker, Senior Correspondent for BDG. In this week's news, the American Buddhist pioneer and Berkeley Zen Center founder, Sojun Mel Weisman, has died. The respected Soto Zen Buddhist priest and renowned Dharma teacher died at his home on January 7th at the age of 91, according to the Sangha of the Berkeley Zen Center. He is survived by his wife, Elizabeth Horowitz, and their son, Daniel. Weisman, who co-founded the Berkeley Zen Center, a Soto Zen Buddhist practice center in Berkeley, California in 1967 with Shunryu Suzuki Roshi, had been battling cancer. In a message of remembrance shared with Buddhistdoor Global, Hosen Alan Sonoka, acting head priest of the Berkeley Zen Center and Buddhistdoor Global columnist, offered a tribute to his late teacher. The International Network of Engaged Buddhist Founders, Sulak Sivaraksha, also expressed condolences. In India, archaeologists have discovered the earliest known female-led monastery. Archaeologists in India's Bihar state have discovered what is believed to be an 11th or 12th century monastery for female monastics. The ancient monastery is also noteworthy for being the first found on the top of a hill in the Gangetic Valley area, far from nearby settlements. The site is located in an area known today as Lal Pahari, around 40 kilometers northeast of Rajgir, home of Nalanda University and Vulture's Peak, the setting of many Mahayana Buddhist discourses, and 70 kilometers from Bodh Gaya, the site of the Buddha's awakening. The woman believed to be abbot of the monastery was named Vijayashree Bhadra, according to archaeologists in charge of the site, and she was patronized by the Pala queen Malika Devi. The recent Dalai Lama Greta Thunberg dialogue presented a call to action for a planet in peril. His Holiness the Dalai Lama recently conducted a live-stream dialogue with Swedish environmentalist activist Greta Thunberg and leading climate scientists to discuss the crisis of climate feedback loops. Casting a much-needed focus on human-induced climate change, the conversation highlighted scientific recognition of some of the most serious climate threats, some of the remaining avenues for addressing the increasingly imminent crisis, and the urgent need for education and raising global awareness. Greta Thunberg expressed appreciation of the Dalai Lama for his long-standing advocacy of sustainable environmental stewardship to mitigate the multiple impacts of climate change and acknowledged their shared objective of protecting the planet from human excesses. Despite the imminent threats and the mammoth undertaking before humanity in order to realize any kind of material impact in halting the cycles of climate change, the Dalai Lama offered a perspective of hope and optimism for the future. In Tibet, the Palio Monastery has announced the parinirvana of Kabje Tubtim Palpoche Rinpoche. Palio Monastery in the traditional Tibetan region of Kham, now Sichuan province, has issued a statement informing the Tibetan Buddhist community that the respected Lama Kabje Tubtim Palpoche Rinpoche, one of the most senior lineage holders of the Palio tradition, attained parinirvana on January 10th. Born in 1936, he is recognized by Khenpo Gaga Rinpoche as a young monk, and then he studied under the direct guidance of Khenchen Gaga and received teachings and empowerments from many realized masters. An international workshop series to discuss Buddhism and comparative constitutional law has been announced. In a series of weekly workshops beginning January 14th, scholars from around the world will discuss comparative constitutional studies and Buddhist legal thought. Workshop sessions are scheduled to run for 8 weeks. According to organizers, while the intersections of secular law and religions such as Hinduism, Islam, and Christianity have been discussed heavily in recent decades, Buddhism has so far been left out of the conversation. This series of workshops seeks to alleviate that gap, featuring research on historical as well as contemporary intersections of Buddhism and national legal codes. Scholars from diverse areas of study and disciplines will join together in this workshop to discuss the topic from as many perspectives as possible, including several professors of law and scholars of Buddhism from diverse geographical areas including China, India, Mongolia, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and Tibet, as well as scholars of colonialism, anthropology, and politics. And lastly, Indian scholars have published a romanized edition of the Sanghiti Evamso, the chronicle of Buddhist councils on Dhamma and Vinaya. The book was edited by Indian Buddhist scholars Professor Bimalendra Kumar and Dr. Ujjwal Kumar, who described it as one of the most comprehensive chronicles of Thailand, combining a history of Buddhism with a history of the Thai kingdom. A book launch was held on January 4th in the presence of distinguished scholars in the conference hall of the Indian Council of Historical Research in New Delhi. The text was first published in Thailand in 1923 in Thai script with a Thai language translation. The current edition has reproduced only the Pali section of the 1923 printed edition, converted from the Thai script to the Roman script, along with other Pali texts. That is all for this week's BDG News Review. If you enjoy regular news videos delivered to you each week, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with friends. We appreciate your support and feedback in the comments below. Be sure to check out our website, Buddhistdoor.net, for these stories along with features and special coverage of Buddhism around the world.